Game 3 of the NBA Finals kicked off last night. Very exciting game, if you did have the chance to watch it. Final score, Toronto Raptors won 123, Golden State Warriors 109. Toronto led by at least 17 at one point. This was a Golden State Warriors team that saw a Klay Thompson sitting with a hamstring injury that he got injured with in Game 2. And a team that is also missing Kevon Durant, who is still out with a strained calf injury. And Kevon Looney, who also went down with an injury in Game 2 as well. So Golden State is missing some of their key pieces. Didn't stop from some of their players from showing up, but want to talk about the winners first and what they were able to accomplish. So obviously Toronto winning with 123-109. Let's look at I got the box score in front of me. Let's look at Toronto. I mean, Kawhi led the way with a team high 30 points, 9 for 17 from the field. It looks like he shot about 52%. Toronto had 6 players in double figures. So this is what Toronto needed. This is what they needed coming into Game 3 after losing in Game 2. They needed this offensive output from all their players, and so they received that. So you got Pascal Siakam, who chipped in 18 points. He was 8 of 16 from the field, 9 rebounds. Marc Gasol, the big man for Toronto, 17 points, 6 for 11 from the field. Danny Green, he definitely came in clutch last night, 18 points, but he was, 6 of 10. All 6 of his shots came from the three-point line, so he shot 60% from the three-point line. So, I mean, you really can't ask from a much better standpoint as far as your three-point marksman on the team. And then Kyle Lowry, going into Game 3, I knew that, if Toronto was going to have any chance, I mean, obviously they're going to need offensive output from all their players. But, Kyle Lowry has kind of slacked a little bit the first 2 games. And you're the point guard of the team. So you really, even though Kawhi is the leader of the team, you still have to take some leadership ownership as well. And his offensive numbers hadn't reflected that in the first 2 games. But he bounced back in Game 3 with 23 points. He was 8 of 16 from the field, 5 of 9 from the three-point line. So it was good to see him bounce back as well. And then off the bench, Fred VanVleet, who hasn't disappointed in the series and really this playoffs. He chipped in 11 points, 4 from 8 from the field. So good offensive bounce back. Toronto needs to duplicate this in Game 4, but I'll talk about that a little bit more. Let's transition over to Golden State. Not so lucky as far as last night's concerned. Steph Curry led the way for Golden State with a team and a game high, and also a playoff high career for him as well, with 47 points. Excuse me. He was 14 of 31 from the field, 6 of 14 from the three-point line. So we know Steph has, in Game 2, he was battling, I'm not sure the exact condition. It was something that was fatigue related. And last night, in watching him, he really looked tired. Not the obvious fatigue that comes from playing a game, but a different level of tired that I had never really seen from him before. So it was new to me. But with Klay Thompson out, Durant out as well, he's having to carry the offensive load for the team. But his points reflected that, so you can't shy away from what he contributed to the team as well. Draymond, one of 3 players on Golden State last night who had double figures in points, 17 points from Draymond, 6 of 14 from the field. And then Andre Iguodala at the small forward position. He was chipped in 11 points, 4 from 8 from the field, 2 from 6. Those were the only 3 players that made double figures last night from Golden State. So, you have to wonder with DeMarcus Cousins, obviously this being his first NBA Finals, but also coming back off of his own injury with the minutes restrictions. We didn't quite see the impact that he had on Game 2. DeMarcus Cousins only had 4 points this time around. Sean Livingston, 17 points, which seemed like limited minutes for someone, especially of his capability. But I guess they wanted to lean towards, Steph in the closing minutes. Quinn Cook, came off the bench, 9 points from Quinn. Bogut chipped in 6. But the bench looked like they struggled a little bit more. When you lose someone like Klay, even for a game, the identity of the team shifts a little bit. And now, that was definitely evident last night in Steph having to carry the offensive load for the team. But what does this mean? I mean, now we're headed into Game 4. This was, I believe I was looking at the stat, this was Golden State's first home finals loss since 2016. So, if we're looking at what does it mean in the grand scheme of things, Klay is expected to return in Game 4. So that's good news if you are cheering for Golden State. If there's one thing that can be said, I'm sure Toronto would obviously love to win the championship, but I'm sure they would love to win it under the conditions, that all Golden State Warriors players are healthy, including Durant as well. But Klay is expected to return in Game 4. Not sure. We're still waiting on an update from Durant on his injury. Like I said, still with a strained calf. Durant was saw a video. Durant was waiting in the locker in the hallway leading to the locker room, waiting to greet the Golden State Warrior players. Definitely had a ice pack around his calf, so it's definitely something that's looking to seek more treatment. I'm hoping that he can come back from the injury pretty soon. Because as much as I would love to see Golden State lose, I would love to see them lose under the conditions where they have all their players healthy, and no easy way out for Toronto. But Game 4 is on Friday, so a 3-day gap in between Game 3 and 4. I believe it's at 9, but correct me if I'm wrong. But we'll definitely look to see Klay is expected to return. This one we will be back at Oracle, so the Warriors will host Toronto. So tune in if you have a chance, and we'll be looking forward to more basketball.